In this tutorial lesson, we will install a brand new copy of QuoteWerks. We will be downloading the QuoteWerks demo from our website, but if you have a QuoteWerks installation CD, the steps to install will be the same. First, we will illustrate installing QuoteWerks to a standalone computer. Please note that in order to install QuoteWerks, you will need to be logged into Windows as a user with administrative rights. To get started, we'll need to go to the QuoteWerks website and download the QuoteWerks demo. Click on the Download a Demo Version button, then fill out your contact information here. Next, we'll want to click on the Submit button. Then on this new page, we'll scroll back down to the bottom and click the link for qw4setup.exe. Make sure you select the Save option here, and to make things simple, you can download the file to your desktop. Once the file is finished downloading and you're ready to install QuoteWerks, you want to make sure that you temporarily disable antivirus programs, personal firewalls, anti-spiral programs, and any other programs you may have running in the background. These programs typically do not conflict with the installation or operation of QuoteWerks. We recommend disabling them just to be safe. Once you've shut down or disabled any other programs, run the QuoteWerks installation file. You may receive a warning stating the publisher could not be verified. If you do, just click Run. You will now see the QuoteWerks installation welcome screen. Click Next on each of these steps, and you will then be prompted to accept or decline the license agreement. If you do not agree to the license agreement, select I do not accept the agreement, and the installation will not proceed. Otherwise, select I accept the agreement and click Next to continue. On this screen, you will have the choice to either perform a new installation of QuoteWerks or update an existing installation. Select the option to perform a new installation and click Next. If you're using Windows XP or earlier, QuoteWerks will automatically default the installation to your C Program Files folder. On Windows Vista, QuoteWerks will automatically default to your C drive, create an Applications folder, and install QuoteWerks inside this folder. For the purposes of this tutorial, we'll take the default location and click Next. You will now be prompted as to whether you would like to install the default QuoteWerks templates, which include print layouts, reports, cover pages, and more. You will also be prompted as to whether or not you would like to install the Sample Products database, which contains audiovisual products. If this is your first time working with QuoteWerks, we recommend that you leave both of these options checked. Click Next until the installation begins. The QuoteWerks installation occurs in two phases. The first phase, which we just completed, installs the QuoteWerks directory, which contains all the core QuoteWerks files and folders. Clicking Continue here will launch the second phase, referred to as the node setup, which installs the necessary control files in Windows that allows QuoteWerks to run. Click Next on each of these steps until you get to the Backup Replace Files window. Here you have the option to back up certain core files in the event you wish to roll back QuoteWerks. Backing up is not required, so you can select No if you prefer, and then click Next to continue. On the Select Optional Components window, you can select to install the QuoteWerks Web Connector, the MS CRM integration, or the Sugar CRM integration. The Web Connector is for use with Salesforce.com, the MS CRM integration is used with Microsoft Dynamics CRM, and the Sugar CRM integration is for Sugar CRM. If you're not using any of these contact management programs, do not select any of these options as they're unnecessary. Click Next to continue. On this window, you have the option to choose which startup folder QuoteWerks will install to. Advanced users have the option to specify a different location, but in most cases, as with this example, we will take the defaults. If you would like a shortcut to be installed on your desktop, you can add one using this option. You can also specify which users on this computer you wish for QuoteWerks to be installed for. For this tutorial, we'll leave it at all users and click Next. The QuoteWerks node will now install. Click Finish here to complete the installation. You can now click on the QuoteWerks shortcut icon to launch QuoteWerks. If you have a license key already, you can enter it in here. Or you can continue in demo mode. You will then need to enter in your company information and default selections in your QuoteWerks setup wizard. Select your country, your tax rate, select your contact manager, and then enter in your company information here. When you click Finish, you're up and running. In this next segment, we will cover installing QuoteWerks on the standard network. This video does not cover installing QuoteWerks on a terminal or Citrix server. For further details on either of those platforms, please refer to the QuoteWerks manual. You can download and install the QuoteWerks installation file from any computer on your network, though we recommend using one of your workstations as the server typically does not run the QuoteWerks executable locally, it just hosts the QuoteWerks directory. Before launching the setup, there are a few prerequisites that need to be addressed. When installing QuoteWerks to a network, QuoteWerks will need to be installed to a network drive letter. You do not need to create a separate or special drive letter just for QuoteWerks, you can use an existing one. However, if you do not have an available network drive letter, you will need to create one. If you do need to map a new network drive letter, make sure the same drive letter is used on all QuoteWerks workstations, and also make sure the drive letter mapping on all machines points to exactly the same place. Typically, the map drive points to a folder one level above the QuoteWerks folder itself. As an example, if your QuoteWerks installation is intended to be located at Server Apps QuoteWerks, and you want to use the drive letter Q for your map network drive, you would map the drive letter Q to the Apps folder. You would not want the drive letter mapped to the QuoteWerks folder. As mentioned in the standalone installation demonstration, be sure to temporarily disable antivirus programs, personal firewalls, anti-spyware programs, and any other programs you may have running in the background. Once the file is downloaded, we'll go ahead and launch it. Move through these installation steps until you get to the window that prompts you for the location of the QuoteWerks directory. Click on the Browse button to change the path. We'll select the Q drive here, the subfolder Apps, then click OK. Click Next to continue. Once this is completed, you will then begin the node installation, which is the client portion of the installation. These steps will all be the same as the steps shown earlier with the standalone installation. And then click Finish here to exit the install. You should now be able to launch QuoteWerks on this local computer using either the Start menu or the desktop shortcut. As we showed you earlier in this video, you'll need to move through the QuoteWerks Setup Wizard when you first launch the install. When you click Finish, you're up and running. Now that you have the QuoteWerks directory installed on your shared network drive and the node has been installed on the computer that you initiated the installation from, you may ask, how do I install QuoteWerks to my remaining workstations? On a network installation, it is not required that you perform a full installation of QuoteWerks on each machine once the initial installation has taken place. Instead, from each new machine that you would like to run QuoteWerks on, you simply need to browse to the QuoteWerks directory and double-click on the nsetup.exe file, which is located in the root of the QuoteWerks directory. This will launch the same node installation that ran during the initial installation. Click through these steps as before. And then click Finish here to exit the installation. Note that you will need to provide all users with full control rights to the QuoteWerks folder in order for the node to install correctly and for QuoteWerks to run. Right-click on the QuoteWerks folder and go to Properties. Select either your Security or your Sharing tab. And then here you can select your user and provide them with the permissions needed. Once the nsetup has been run on the workstation, you should then be able to launch QuoteWerks. You can run the nsetup on as many computers as you'd like. The only limitation is in regards to licensing. For example, if you have 20 workstations but only 10 licenses, you can still install the QuoteWerks node on all 20 workstations, but you'll only be able to have a maximum of 10 workstations logged in at any given time. If you encounter any issues or have any trouble installing QuoteWerks, please feel free to contact technical support at 407-248-1481, option 3 for support, or send an email to support@quotewerks.com.